Hello and welcome back to another educational video tutorial on how to uh, create game-based computer programs with ActionScript 3.0. We previously learned how to create some simple animations using the bone tool and um, classic tweening techniques. And we learned how to use some of the drawing tools to create a tiger. This one we're going to start with our first very simple program, commonly known as the Hello World program. And we're going to use ActionScript 3.0 to complete this process. And we're going to put a little bit of some imagery in here or some graphic design. And we're going to open and use our tiger. So let's go to our recent, open recent. And we'll look at our tiger bone. Let's make this 50%, and we're going to copy this, select everything. Oh, the body's locked. Select everything, copy, and then we're going to come over to our new ActionScript 3.0 stage, and let's increase the stage size to 800 by 800. And we will paste our tiger right there, 50%. Let's move them down. Select these, rotate them. That's good. Move everything over. Right there is fine. All right, so we have our stage set. I'm going to change the color too. Let's do it a some light. There, that looks good. So we got a nice color there. In the background, we have our tiger that we previously drew, and we're gonna introduce how to use buttons and how to add event listeners and different types of text that we're going to use. So let's start with our text box, and we're going to keep it at static text. We can pick our size looks good. So let's put it here and say the amazing talking tiger. And we can increase the font size. That looks good. The wide Latin looks good. And we can increase the font size right here. So let's increase it to 42. 42, maybe that's good. Too big? Let's decrease it to 30. All right, that looks good. So this is static text, and the nice thing about static text is when we create a computer game or an animation, static text just becomes part of the graphic imagery that's behind there. So we don't have to worry about, we use it as a graphic design type tool. It's going to change the color of this. That was already orange. Let's create a nice, maybe that one. And then we have our select tool. So yeah, that looks good. So we have the amazing talking tiger, and we're going to want him to say something. So what we can do here is we can use a circle. Let's use an oval tool, and let's put up a big oval, and let's change it to a white background. Let's move it up here, and let's use our transformation tool. Let's draw it out like this. And then something we can do is we can use our line tool, and when we made our tiger stripes, we made something like this. That's attached. Cut this. Pull this down to there, and then let's get our paint bucket, and it's already white. Fill that up, and let's highlight this a little better. Turn it to the ink tool. Let's stroke it up to 9. Let's just type in here 4. And drop that in there. That gives it a nice edge to it. Alright, so we have the amazing talking tiger. We have our text balloon. And we're going to put over here some more static text. We're going to put enter your name in the box, and let's center that, and let's put that in black. Alright, so we have our select tool, and I'll use the arrows to move it up a little bit. So we have enter your name in the box below, and we're going to create a new type of text called input text. And you draw it just like this. Oh, wait a second. Let's do edit, undo, edit, undo, edit, undo. Yeah, okay, I see. Alright, so always make sure you deselect your text. Okay, so when you're working with different types of text, always click somewhere to deselect it. That way, when I have my text button, I change it from static text to input text. I don't want to change this to input text. I want just a new box here that's input text, and I don't have to type anything in for the input text either. You can leave it blank. Something that's nice is you can click over here, and when you do that, what it does is it leaves an outline. Okay. If I don't click over there, then you see the box, but it doesn't look like anything. And if you're going to publish this to the web, say you want someone to enter their name for a game for high score, you want them to know that this exists, that this box is actually here. So you want to create this, you want to do this show borders around text, because what that'll do is that'll draw a box, and it leaves this fill-in input area that everyone's familiar with. And they could click in here and then they could type their name in here. All right. So something else we want to do though is if we're gonna use code with this, all right, we're gonna want to use something other than wide Latin. We'll use our regular Arial, just so that it's simpler when they type in it. It's simpler, and we're gonna want to embed this font. So it comes as font 1. You could name it anything you want. It's not for our purposes name text. For our purposes, and it's Arial regular, so it shows all this, and then you hit OK. So now this font is embedded, and that's when they type there, that's exactly what they'll see when they do that. Something else is you're going to want to use device fonts, all right? And this is something that makes sure that when you use these device fonts, that all the letters come out correctly. All right, so you have to have it embedded. And you want to use device fonts, so you want to change those settings right there. And we're gonna end up using program. We're gonna program, and we're gonna use this. We're gonna give it an instant name so that when we identify this input text box in our program, the program or the computer knows exactly what we're talking about. So let's call this name input. All right, so name input, and so we have our text box here, and it's name input. That's its instant name, and it's an input text box. So Flash allows it to be typed into when we program something. I can actually show you this right now. So let's go Control Test Movie in Flash. And when I come down here and I click, you can enter. And like I said, it's a nice simple text. So you see this happening here. All right. Now let's also come down here, and we want to now place a dynamic text box. So we have static text, input text, deselect, go over to text, and I'm gonna put this right in here. All right, run it across the top like that. It's nice and centered. Fits in the spot. And I'm going to want to change this. I want it to be dynamic text. So this is going to be output text, and I'm going to keep it centered. That's nice, but I don't want this. I already made this nice bubble area, so I don't want this box to appear there. That's not very graphically appealing to me. So I'll get rid of this. All right. So the text will appear in this section right here when it comes out, but our output text will appear there. But you won't see these dashed lines. You won't see those on your final product. So that's fine with me. All right. So we got dynamic text, and we're going to want to put name output. And you got to always make sure that you type everything the same when we use it, and then when we write the code, we want to use the same type of names also, or the same wording. All right, so once again, we have it set on device fonts. We have Arial, so we already embedded the Arial font, so that's fine. We could use other fonts too, but we'll keep it simple right now, and you can play with how you'd like it to look later. So now we need to write some code, and we're going to need something to happen so that when we type our name down here, enter your name in the box, and then you want to add something like, say, a button, and then you click on the button, and then something appears up here, and that's called an event. And we're going to want to add event listeners. So I could show you how to draw a button. We'll be doing a lot of that, but I'd rather show you here. We have Windows, and we have common libraries, and we have buttons. And there's already pre-made buttons, which is nice. You could pick any one of these buttons. I'm going to show you. I like the classic buttons. All right, so where my favorite? Oh, let's see. Classic buttons. Okay, so when you click on this, and it has arcade buttons, so you can see them up here: green, blue, orange, red. So let's pick a nice red button and just drop it there. You can pick, all these are all different types of buttons, and it's nice because they're already made. So this is a nice, it's called the arcade button. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to move that up. Place my button over here, and I could do the same thing with the transformation tool. I can make it larger, you know. I could put it over here. I'll put some text. I want static text. Let's put in push. All right, let's go back to our SW. We got size. Move this up. Move this down. All right, so enter your name in the box and push the red button. All right, so now we're going to write some code for the button too. So let's call this BTN HELO, button hello. And you want to, when you write these, you want to make sure you don't leave any spaces. All right, when we code, you don't leave any spaces. We could also call it hello underscore BTN. So that's a nice name. We'll call it hello underscore BTN. So that's the hello button. All right, so we have this instant named, we have this instant named, and we have this instant named. All right, let's insert a layer. All right, let's call this tiger. And let's insert another layer. Let's call this actions layer. All right. So now we have all this drawn, and what we will do is now that we have the page all graphically designed with our buttons. All right, we have this named hello button. We have our name input box. We have our name output dynamic text box, and we created our actions layer. All right, so come over here, and then we could push F9, or you can go to your Windows Actions to get our ActionScript window up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add an event listener, and that's going to be our button. We call it our hello underscore button, and we're going to add event listener, and the event we're going to have is going to be a mouse event. And it's when we click and we're going to create a function called the display hello. All right, so now we create our function. So our function display hello, which we just created for our event, which is a mouse event. With curly brackets there. And what we're going to do is we're going to have our name output dot text. All right, this is what we named it. Our name output text, which is our dynamic text, is going to equal our name input. Make sure you have all the capitals in the right place. Name input dot text. And then that's it. That's all we have to write. So this is a simple little code we got. So we have our hello button. That's what we named our button. And we want to add an event listener, and that's the mouse event. And we want to listen for when it clicks. When it clicks, we're going to have our function take place, and we call this the display hello. We can name it anything we want, but it has to be the same thing. This is our function display hello, which is an event. It's a mouse event, and we have our name output text box, which is dynamic, will equal what we put in our name input. So let's do a control and test movie and see what happens. All right, test movie in Flash Player. So we put in Mr. Noon, and when we push the button, it says Mr. Noon. So our output text is equal to whatever our input text is. Right, so that's nice. This is something we can do when we have a high score. You can add high scores by typing in your name and pushing a button. So let's modify this a little bit more. All right, so we'll keep our name input, but let's put in what's called a string. All right, so let's put hello world. My name is space parentheses. So this is called a string. The output is gonna have this exactly, and then we're gonna want what our name is. So we're gonna put a plus sign here. Move this over a little bit, and so my name is, and then we have our name there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put plus period quotation. So it's going to add this. This is another piece of a string. So we have a string plus our data, our name input text plus a period. So let's control test movie in Flash Player. So Mr. Noon. So I enter your name in the name box, Mr. Noon. Push the red button. It says hello world. My name is Mr. Noon. All right. So this is the whole program. So you can publish this right to the internet. So I guess I can show you that how you would do that. This is what you can create a web page. So we'll save this file. Save. I hit save as. I already did it. Hello World Tiger. So I'll save it. Yeah, we'll replace that. I can close this up because our code's in there. And then under File, what we do is we have our publish settings. So I want to make an HTML, I want to make a web page, hypertext, markup language web page. And I want to make a SWF because that's what we're going to play on the internet. This is what we use. I could make GIF images, JPEGs, or other things here, but this is basically what I want. So now all I hit is OK, and then I would come here, and this tells me exactly what I'm having. So I'm going to create our HTML and our SWF, and then I hit publish, and then if you saw it real quick, it published it somewhere. So there's a file which is an HTML page. Let's see if I can find that. So nope. All right, so I look for some other point. But anyways, that's it. You've just created your first program, Hello World, and I hope you come back and see some of the more ActionScript programming and some of the video games we'll be making later in the year.